Riding into town alone by the light of the moon, I'm looking for old Suki Jones. She crazy horse saloon. Barkeep give me a drink, that's when she caught my eye. She turned to give me a wink that'd make a grown man cry. I'm back in the saddle again. I'm back. Well, that sounds a lot better when it's sung by Steven Tyler, but ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the saddle again inside the Subaru. This is the one we looked at that had the wonky shifter, or the wonky little flip-flappy down in here, that doesn't allow us to remove the key. I have obtained the parts from Subaru. In this case, we did not have to buy the whole mechanism down here. We bought simply the switch pack that goes on the side of the mechanism. Now, in the past, these have been difficult to do because the cable linkage underneath is rusted solid. However, I put this one on the lift, and to my surprise, this one was not rusted. I sprayed it with a little Schaefer's Penetro 90, not a sponsor, got the nuts off. Now we have to pull this out so we can actually do it on the bench. I'm happy, and I hope you're happy. We can all be happy together. So what do we need? Looks like we have a connector here. We will unhook that connector. We have another connector up here. We will, wow, did I just undo two connectors with my sausage fingers without any complaining? And then it appears that we have a 12, and a 12, and a 12, and a 12, and then we have a wire holder over here for the airbag wires, which might be a son of a hooski to get to. They do have a little opening, so we need a 12, 12, a 90-degree pick, and then we should be good. That's a 14. What else is in my little pockets? Whoops, did I bump you? Hey, look at that. That might actually work, fella. You might be onto something. There's one. There's two. There's number 3. Get the number 4. Oh, looky, looky. There's number 4. There's 4 of those. We'll set them down here on the floor. That's where we set stuff. Now this whole mess should be loose like a goose. Oh, we have another wire over here. Lovely. I'm going to try to reach in. We either have to undo the zip tie, cut the zip tie, turn the camera off, break the connector. Something has to be done. In this case, I think we will undo the zip tie by pushing back the little flippy flappy, because otherwise those things are a mother lover to get out. So reach down here, push back the tang. Tang is back. Come on, little zip tie. You can do it. Release. There. Hoorah. Those are released. Well, everything underneath is unhooked, as I've previously stated, and I will show you how to do that from underneath the car when I put it back together. And the part we are after is in here, in there. So we have to tear this whole kit and caboodle apart without breaking it, which would be great. We managed to get our zip ties apart without breaking them, so that's great. Let's go to the bench. Plate guide assembly, LHD, for left-hand drive. We live in America. Here it is. So basically we've got to get this part. Here's the switch. It's a little baby micro switch. There's one there, and I believe there's another one. There's another one up in this joint up top. So that's all they are, is these little micro switches. One there, which gets triggered through this hole. And then there's one there that gets triggered right there. So that's all they are. This piece isn't awfully expensive. I want to say in the $50 US range, somewhere is around there. And then we can look, we can see how this thing comes apart, or we can just take some guesses. But I'm imagining the shift lever being removed, which that has to come off first, because then we got to take the gray bits off, the white bits underneath it, so we can get to the pin that holds that on. I just got to remember how to do this. I may have to do some looking at some service data to see how to remove the shift lever. Usually there's like something like that. Let me go do some looking, and I'll come back and pretend like I know what I'm doing. Lower the vehicle, check. Shifting to neutral, check. Lower the grip cover, AT, vertically toward the lever. Oh, I see what it means. Vertically doesn't mean up and, I mean it means up and down, but it wants us to remove the grip cover, automatic transmission, vertically toward the lever. They want this piece to go straight down, and that's what I was envisioning, but it always makes me super nervous because I hate plasticky stuff. You got to use a plastic prying apparatus. It just feels super stiff. Whoa, son of a... Hey, nothing broke. Hoorah! And then we got to remove the clip. Woo! That'll put a little pucker in your... Hoo-hoo. There. That's all we wanted to do. Whoa, the little shaft is coming with it. So there's the little donger there. We will put the clip back on there because we will surely lose it if we don't. And then this thing, what really retains that? I'll give you a look at the inside. That's what it looks like when it goes on. It just slides up into slots and friction, folks, friction. That's all that holds that. I'm going to stick that to the side. Now we should be in good shape for the shape we're in. I suppose we could use the rest of the instructions here. I don't know if they give actual disassembly of this whole kit and caboodle, but we'll set this to the side in case we need it. But from here on out, we should be able to figure it out. Not a sponsor, by the way. I just wanted to put this down so we didn't get this any more goofed than it already is. What we will see, look to see how things are built here. I don't remember if the top half has to come off first. I'm going to pry this up just a smidge, just keep that from relatching. Flip it on over. I hate plastic, but I guess you gotta learn to love it because that's what cars are made out of nowadays, plastic. This piece is removed. We'll set that to the side. Okay. Now we'll give her a good look over here. Our piece is in there, way in there. We're going to remove these little bushings that go through the lower gasket. We have to take the lower gasket off to get to a pin. That holds the shift lever on. We're going to remove those 4 bushings, and this should allow us to pull down our gasket to get to what we need to get to, because there's a pin under here. And we have to be careful of these push retainers, particularly if you're going to reuse them. So we'll pull our gasket. Now that can't come off all the way because of the rivet job that it's done on our shift cable holder. Alright. We do need to get our interlock solenoid out of there. So I'm going to need a pick to release the lock tab on that, and then to release the lock tab on our actual solenoid. So let me go grab a pick. That's me picking on you. Oh yeah. That went there. Did I get you? Oh, I can feel that going right through my finger. Come on, you mother lover. I can see the little flipper. There. Woo! Got it. That was easy. We'll undo our wires. Now some of these we're going to have to de-pin because that's just the way it is. And there's a little flipper right here we have to be very ginger on because it's the only thing that holds in that solenoid. So I'm going to give it a classic reach under. And then the old slide out. Now this top piece should come off. This is your shift interlock or your shift lock. And then this is the actual solenoid that pulls it in and out. See what I'm saying? Alright. Now we can take and de-pin it. We got to de-pin our reds and our yeah, you know that one color, the green, that looks nothing like red. We got to de-pin the two greens and the two oranges. And wait for that, we need a T-pin. But before you do that, go like this with your cell phone. Take yourself a little picture, a couple angles. Work it, work it. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Oh yeah. So you get some pictures. So that way you know where things go. And then you're going to reach in, hit the lock tab, put a little lock tab in there, and you're going to pull her out. Pull out! If I can get in there. They're kind of a stiff little sucker. Pick. There we go. T-pin is just not strong enough. The new piece that you put back in will have different colors. It's going to have two greens and two blues. Just a little FYI. Free tip Friday. And then we're going to put our orange ones down here. Reach in, release the tab. There's that one. Sometimes it helps to push in on the wire as you're releasing the tab to get the tension off the little lock tab in there. You'll see it's hard to show that, but these ones are pretty easy to undo, and they're only going to latch back in one way. So there's that. Our solenoid is meow to the side. And now we have to work on this clip because I'm a ding dong and I didn't get a new one. Let me get a little flat blade screwdriver, see if we can't stick under there and work it. Usually if you can get under these and get a couple of the fingers bent up to release it, that usually works. Or a lot of times if you just if you get them going just a little cattywampus here, and tap them. And just keep working it like that. It's kind of counterproductive for what they're designed to do, but this usually works like so. And then you get it off, and all of your fingers are intact, and then all you do is pretend this is the vise. You stick this in the vise, you give it a little whack with your hammer. I'll show you, because right now it's a little concaved, or convex, depends on what side you're looking at. Stick it on the vise, lightly, tap it, and make it flat again, and now you can reuse that retainer. Put it back on, you stick a socket on it, bada bing, bada boom. And then we have another one here. If we get that one tapping. Might have got us some room. Come on. Why you gotta be like that? Hold your finger over it. That some is gonna go flying. not in a good spot. So there's that one. Okay, back to the vise. Flat as a pancake. Stick that over there. And then this one, they were so kind to us as to only install a little plastic pin. Whoa, good. There's that one. All right. Now, this is where it all falls apart. Literally. We're going to remove this pin. Pull the pin. Run! Now we'll pull this pin. And then when we pull the lower pin, the whole shooting mess should come out. And those pins are the same. And then we've got the lower pin that we were working on. Y'all remember that one. Might need to give it a little bit of Brooks. That's my hammer. Old Brooksy. Heard that. Now that pin is different, obviously. It has flat sides on it. And I believe that the whole shebangy comes out now. I could be wrong. There could be something I am forgetting, which is always possible. We got to get the rubber off. Whoa. The rubber is off. We have to take our bushing out down here. I'm not going to remember how any of this goes together, just FYI. This may just have a cable up through the floor and a button for the safety switch when we're done. Just kidding. Tell you what, instead of taking that bushing out, we'll separate it. And there we are, folks. We'll wipe out some of the shmoo and we'll save that for reassembly. Be mindful of the direction of this, okay? Best to have our old one and our new one out. So this has the detent on the bottom of it, which will all come flying apart on you. And I don't know if there's a proper way, but this is how I do them. Kind of push her down, bring her through. Now, like I say, that detent, spring detent is down in here, okay? So we take that out in this direction, set it down. Look at me shaking. Alright. Re-schmoo this one. This is all the different detent clicks down in there. And then it does have a little ramp where it starts back in. Let's get some of the old shmoo down here, up on the end of its tip. We'll put a little in the groove. Well, we got this thing turned around in about a million different directions. And we'll come back in. Totally did that right. Right? That's back in. Okay, that's how it was when we started. We've got our wires, got our detents, everything looks good, looks happy, and then we go back together with it. Set that back on there like so. Our wires are facing the right direction. We take our previously removed shmoo, stick it on the ball socket on the bottom. Alright, she's pretty gooey down in that hole, so gotta get it back through our rubber, or we'll just move our rubber out of the way for the time being. And you'll see how that goes down in here. You gotta kind of wiggle its jiggly bits until it all lines up. Make sure your wires are running through the slot. little bit of a dance, folks. And there we are, we danced it right back into the hole in which it belongs. And then we can put our lower pin back in it, our pivot pin. Now this only goes in from this direction here because it is flat-sided. Alright. Seem right? Seems right to me. I don't think we're missing anything, are we? What are we missing? Besides all the stuff we haven't put back in yet. I think we're in good shape. There's that pin. And then we have this front pin that comes in from the other direction. No, it does come in from this direction because it goes in that way. And then the white lock retainer goes in. That's our park switch. Hits that switch. It's that top one. I see that switch. And then the other switch. A lot of switching. I'm going to get the rubber back on, get our lock pins put back on. Let me go get some sockets. There's those. We're going to come over here. Stick that clip up on there. Stick our socket on it. Give it a push, and that did not work. Wow, we did look like an idiot. Why? Because you have to back it from the back side. So we're going to back that up with that socket. Stick this socket on here. Boom. Now the clip is, back on, reinstalled. And we'll do the same thing down here, except we'll reverse our sockets. The old socket reversal tray. Gosh, I've drank too much coffee this morning. That one is back on. Look at that, we saved like 25 cents by not buying those. So that's back on, everything should still work. We're gonna have to give this the old stretcheroo. Stretcheroo on a Subaru. Grab that all the way in the best direction I do. Up and over. Back under. Now I lied to you about not being able to remove the rubber. It is loose underneath that little metal cable holder. I know that'll be in the comments. Like, bro, did you know that you can really remove that? Well, we do now. So make sure the rubbers come all the way up through. Then we'll stick our bushings back in. This is boring stuff, isn't it? Boom, that's all up in. The solenoid, the noid of your soul. Wow, I got that dirty, jerk. Oh, come here, Mr. Hanky. Wipe that off. Stick your solenoid back up into the hole and then slide the whole thing in. Push it in until she clicks. Now when we go back into park, that should lock us out. To unlock it, we pull back. Yeah, so that's our park interlock. When you take that little piece off the top of the column, that little white cover or that little round cover, this is what you reach in and push on in an emergency. to get it out, okay? And this is where our wires ran underneath there to bring these wires down and around town, and they go underneath there. So we've got to put it back together how it was. All right, our green wires were on the top, if I remember correctly. They're only going to go in one way. There's that one. There's that one, and then the other two were in the bottom corner. So one of these switches is going to be for the manual mode. The other switch is going to be the park switch. Yeah, I'll bust out the cell phone. Oh, I can't show you my secret code. It can't read my fingerprint now because they're greasy as usual. ABC 1, 2, 3. That's 2 greenies, 2 orangies. Check. There's that. Give them a little twist. Keep them all together. Bring them back through the hooky tool that they were in. Bring them back around, clip them back into their little clippy. Click. We're gonna find a pick. We're gonna pull that black wire back through just a little bit. We want a little bit more tension on it, so it doesn't come out and chafe. Nobody likes saying chafing. Now our wires are ran back where they should be. Our pins are reinstalled. Our zip ties are not broke. They're going to be a lot easier to put in like that. Our park switch is activated by the donger up here. Our manual switch is activated when we go into manual mode. Okay? Everything should be good now. Should be the key word. One more Mr. Hanky. We gotta put this thing back on. We'll give that a little polish. I'm not gonna dig out all the finger goo. We'll reinstall this in its forward direction, realigning it with its hole. Plural. There's 2 holes. Click, click. Good thing I played with Legos as a child. That's all I know. That's back in park. That piece goes back on there. And the forwardmost, you son of a... Oh, I'm gonna say a naughty word. That mother effing clip just went somewhere else. Well, that just ruined my life. The clip I told you not to lose. I'm going to church this Sunday because I just found it. It went into the abyss known as the shop floor. And the reason we didn't hear it hit the floor is because it came over here and hit the creeper and then slowly creeped down to the floor. Where were we? It was my initial thought that I would just put that on and slide it on and the clip spreads and everybody's happy. That is not the case. Do not do what I did. And then this just needs to be clicked back on up there and then repolished. Does this make me a knob polisher? I don't think so. But there's that. She's shiny, she's chrome, she's back together. Manual mode. Oh, neutral lockout. No reverse neutral drops. Stuntman wouldn't like that. Okay, there's that. We are back together. The vehicle should run. The shift interlock should work. Let's find out. I gotta go wash my patties. Man, I'm glad I found that clip. We are back staring at the empty hole before us. And insert our device into said hole, moving that wire, moving this wire, lining us up. We will plug in our pluggers because we want to make sure that everything works. Illumination! That works. Oh, you guys are in a bad spot. I hear the clicky doodad working. Park lock, brake installed, park unlock. Manual mode. Oh, I was like, why doesn't it say manual mode on the dash? That's because the shift cable's unhooked, you ding dong. It just says neutral. Okay. Shift interlock device, check. Does the key come out? Check. Back into drive. Key does not come out. Oops. Back into park. Key comes out. Problem solved. We'll reinstall our wires up and around. Now we're going to run our zip ties backwards, which will suck for the next guy, but hopefully this never has to be done again. We will put our zip tie in the hole. I know you probably, what can you guys see? Probably just the back of my head. You're gonna have to trust me on this one. Okay, zip tie reinstalled. I have to do the same thing on this side. It's a lot easier to install them this way than it is trying to get it from the bottom side where you can't see. There, that one's reinstalled. 4 bolts, you know the routine. And what we will do is I'll go underneath. Probably should hook up the shift cable and stuff before we put all the interior trim back on, just in case I did something wrong. Because I am not exempt from doing the wrong stuff. None of us are. And that's the truth. Some of you can't handle the truth. There's that, and that. This, let me grab the torque wrench. Always torque in a crisscross pattern. Crisscross, and there's a good band. I remember that fad coming through school. Crisscross and make you wiggity, wiggity, wiggity whack, and make you want to wear your pants backwards. Who remembers that back in the school days? In at and around the time of the hammer pants. Another great trend that swept our nation. Yeah, let me go down on this thing. We've got to rotate our bushing that I previously rotated. This is our shift cable now. The inner adjustment I did not move, other than like that much. So we should be good because we haven't changed anything there. And then we've got to get it back up in this slot. Now we got to pull it back into park because that's where it is. Get your cable up and around, and you'll see how the latch mechanism works. It's just a metal clip. Now, prior to sticking that in, there are a couple tabs on it you have to bend out to release it. I'm going to push them lock tabs back in, or bend them back in rather, with some kind of prying apparatus. There's that one. You'll see what I mean when you go to take this apart. It's quite an obvious style latch. Get under there. Get in my belly! Ah, jerk. There, that one's been in. Okay. Now, just gotta line up the slot. Okay. And then clicky. One of them latched, the other one didn't. So now I'll push them in. There she goes, baby. Now she's locked. All right, we are in park. Can you guys see? I can't see what. Can you see what I see? Where are you? Where is everybody? Can you see this? You can't? What the? How's that? Is that better? I try to make things good for you. I'm not a videographer. And then we're in park. Check my inner adjustment. It is perfect. I'll stick the other nut on. I'll spin that on there. This is where the vicey grips come in. I'm going to go up and just latch them on here. The inside of the cable to keep the cable from rotating. That way I can spin it. That nut. As a general rule in the past, these things have been solid rust. And you gotta try to either sell them a shift cable or do the best you can and change that part on the inside, which is rather difficult. That's snugged up. And removed. Now there's a heat shield that goes over this whole kit and caboodle. And I'll take and try to line you folks up here. It comes all the way up around the exhaust. 4 bolts. Covers everything. Believe it or not, all of the bolts came out of that, which I was pleasantly surprised. I said that to myself. I said, "Sel, pleasantly surprised those bolts came out." It went exactly like that, in case you wonder. There's those two, and there's a couple in the back. Except all the interior stuff. We're all done. Oh, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I think. Got some stuff on the floor over here, I believe. I can fly. Ah! Am I right? I have a feeling that that is not the correct order, sir. What are you forgetting? I know what you're forgetting. You gotta do your side flaps first. Because they got screws. Yes, sir. Ain't that the truth? And then they've got a push nail down here. There's that push nail. Then we've got this side, because they've got a couple screws up in the top. There's that. You dummy, they're looking you right in the face. That's what's wrong with you. That's where your screws go, fella. Right in the back. Right where you drop that one. See if we can not drop this one. Find the hole. There it is. See if we can get this screw out. There's that. There's that. There's that. Jeesh Louise. On the brake. Put this back on again. Why do we do it nice? Because we do it twice. Now, I remember from the first video, we had to put this clip back on under here. Slide that back into its groove. That's clipped in. Oops. Now it's unclipped. Now you did it. Now it's clipped. Now I got the screwdriver and the last screw, the only odd screw of the whole job, the smaller one. And that goes in here. And then you've got this, the boot, which you've got to line up like so. Make sure it's lined up on the side, which it isn't. So then you pull it back off, and then you get your little light, and you shine it. And you make sure it's lined up that time, front and rear, and it is. That's lined up and looks good. Grab your tools, slide your seat ahead. Yep, get out. Oh, the memories in the back seat. And not in this car in particular. When we come in here, we find the whole 10 mil or a Phillips head. Twirl it around until it fits. Run it until she hits bottom. These are the same both ways. At least they feel like they are. But I've been wrong before. That one clicks in. That one clicks in. Grab your tools again. Come on out. We'll give her one last system check. In. It runs. It says P for park. Well, let's see if our shift interlock works. Put on the brake. R for racing, N for neutral, D for drive. Boom, manual. 1, 2. Check. We're done. There you have it, folks. Fixing the shifter doodad in your Subaru. Not much to say. A little fumbly in the end because I forgot the couple of screws. However, no screw left behind. I was gonna tear it all back apart to find where those 2 screws went. It's funny how in just a day and a half-ish you can forget where things go when you leave the pile of jiggly bits on the ground. Of course, you know, we could look on service data and that will tell us, but it's good to keep the old memories strong, even though my memory game was not strong at that point. And those little clips, be mindful of them and where they go. Be very quiet when you put them on so you can hear them wherever they may fall. Fortunately, we found them. And this is just real life, folks. Some shows on TV where they're slapping a blower on a big block Hemi and dropping it in their 1970 Charger in 30 minutes. Well, it's all fake. David Stacy is fake. I don't want to have to be the one to tell you that, but he's kind of like Santa Claus. He's just not real. And that's just how it is. real shop life. Things happen. Pick up and move on. Keep calm and carry on, as the meme says. And that's what I want you to do, is carry on down to that comment box down there. Leave your question, comment, criticism, or concern. While you're down there, subscribe and ring that bell so you get the notifications wherever your notifications are received. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.